Tonight, a grieving mother's message to young Londoners. Yet another young Londoner's life lost to knife crime. Good evening. The mother of a 14-year-old who was stabbed on a bus has told ITV News she always feared he would die. Kellyanne Bokassa was killed on a double-decker bus in Woolwich in January, just months after his friend Dejon Campbell was also stabbed to death. It was Kellyanne's funeral today. His mother Marie said she wanted us there so people could see the devastating impact of knife crime on his family, his friends and a whole community. Well, she's been speaking to Kath Opata. Well, Kellyanne is one of 14 people murdered in London so far this year, many of those killed with a knife. Now, at St George's Hospital in Tooting, they say they've treated more than 500 people last year for stab wounds and other knife-related injuries. As a result, they've introduced knife bins inside the hospital with what they're calling terrifying results. I'm joined now by one of the people responsible in a hospital of all places. I mean, just tell us the thinking behind all that.
Yes.
I mean, look, the hospital talks of terrifying results. They're talking about the kind of weapons. Well, next this evening, a moped rider who is believed to have killed schoolboy Nathaniel Burrell in Stockwell is still on the run. Today, prosecutors at the Old Bailey said the killer was wanted for what they described as a targeted and premeditated shooting. Our correspondent Simon Harris is outside New Scotland Yard for us. Simon, what else was said today? Some other news now, 11 people have been injured after a plane from Lisbon to Heathrow had to make an emergency landing. Next tonight, the family of murdered MP Sir David Amess said they feel betrayed that their calls for an inquiry into his death have been rejected. His daughter Katie met with the Prime Minister this afternoon in the hope that the government would reconsider. The answer was still no, but she told ITV News they were offered a glimmer of hope. Yasmin Bottleby reports. Still to come. But first, only a few days remain for people in South East London to have their say about what should happen to the Woolwich Army Barracks. The King's Royal Horse Artillery is set to stay on the historic site, but the rest of the land will be sold on to developers. The plans were first suggested by the government almost 10 years ago, but now, during a time of heightened global conflict, there are concerns about giving up London's most significant military site. Antoine Allen has more. Now, people living in a quiet village in Hertfordshire say they are being terrorised by a hawk. Tall men are most at risk, but it seems no one is safe from the bird of prey, with more than a dozen attacks reported in the last few weeks. Police say they're working with local experts to deal with the bird safely as they try to work out where it came from and why it's happening. From Flamstead, Helen Keenan reports. Now, boxing coach John McKenna was holding a children's sparring session in New Cross when he collapsed. Within seconds, the club's founder, Patrick Harris, had leapt into the ring and begun CPR, keeping John alive until emergency services arrived. Well, today, 2 weeks later, they recounted that incredible fight for survival. Rags Martel reports. Amazing. Now, the 12.06 to Dartford was not only on time today, it held particular significance for train driver Lee Doggett. His first journey since qualifying and an emotional one. His father was a train driver before him, and after his death 8 years ago, it was Lee's dream to follow in his tracks. Well, he did it today with the rest of the family watching, and a surprise too. Here's Jay Akbar.
But anyway, word on the street. Well,
yes.
Word on the street. Weather word of next week, so stay tuned.
Thanks, Sally, and that's it from us. Up next, Mary with the evening news, but from all of us on the London team, bye-bye. Have a great evening.